Okay, so we live in this state. It's called California. The name Cali, if you change the C for a K, this state is named after this ancient Hindu god that was sort of like trying to portray karma in a, was it a demiurgic? Give me a comment. What do you think? Was it a demiurgic, female demiurge kind of vibe? We think about the government, cost of living, the property tax, the rent. If you've never left this place, particularly the coast, are you conditioned to believe this bloodthirsty, blue-skinned female god is the reason why I'm okay to be in this tent, but I can't have a family? Because she will only allow you to have what you need and cut off everyone's head that is out of control or that gets caught or that gets caught up in the system. But everyone is allowed only what they need. Is that the psychological mental illness that people have here? Is that why wage slavery, property tax slavery is acceptable? Let me know in the comments. So, my dear friend Dr. Bruce Lipton, I think he coined the term epigenetics. Epigenetics means, we can change our genes, we can change our DNA, we can heal it. But we're very influenced, not just by our parents, but by everything around us. And this goes back to the Epigenetics and the ethers and the Mahayana, the Maha atmosphere. The big atmosphere around us influences everything in our life. The laws of the state, the laws of the nation, the styles. Okay. While forgiving the unrepentant narcissist is an invitation to further abuse, fully forgiving yourself, and I'm still working through this, fully forgiving yourself is how you heal this problem, because then the next time, again, you're going to feel it in your gut. Oh no, I can't trust him. I've got to let this person be my acquaintance. I've got to let them be over there if you ever see them again. Because what do you want? To get more abuse? And that, to this person, I want to say, hey, this is why you don't want to talk about God to me. You don't want to face yourself, your zodiac sign, and you say, oh, I can't stare at the sun because I don't want to burn out my retina. But it's really because you can't face yourself. Because if you're really the sun, you got to understand how you burn people if you're not careful. But the narcissist will never actually look at themselves or what they do. I wrote down conditional release. Think about it in terms of, okay, you had this relationship with this narcissist, a narcissistic person, because I hate to call them that. It's a horrible term. That's the satanic part of it. But this narcissistic personality, you don't want to leave them in jail. You got to forgive them, right? So you give them conditional release, to make it an analogy to the prison system. Okay, so what does that mean? So, like, you're not going to punish them anymore, men. But, the moment you see them rip somebody off again, the moment you notice they actually don't give a fuck about your feelings, the moment you notice they have no respect, you go, nah, well, guess what? You're not going to be in my life at all again. Because if you can't do this conditional release idea came to me, well, you're certainly just begging for them to abuse you again. This drama cycle and the false forgiveness is actually can be a distraction and prevent you from forming your community. It can prevent you from achieving your spiritual goals and achieving the ascension. Because, you got to obey this stupid idea from the new age that was infiltrated by the dark ones that, oh, forgive and forget, love and rainbows. Nope. That's going to keep you in this cycle of abuse. Again, the shadow work is a huge key. And so what happens to this person if you don't heal this, right? Well, your sense of trust is completely severed. Remember, the narcissist has no real sense of trust because they wouldn't act like they do if they did. So they think of you as an object or a supply. And once you're not feeding them energy, what happens to that abuse? Are they still your friend? Because if they're still your friend, maybe they're not fully possessed by that demon, you know? This is where you can tell. This is your... Okay, realize they have no self-confidence. They have to lie to maintain dominance. Pathological liars con themselves as well. Okay? The narcissist who is unrepentant is a pathological liar who cons themselves. Okay? It's very sad. But why do you have to be in that cycle if you are not abusive? If you are not pathological? You simply have to have the clarity to know when to tell them no. You have to have radical honesty. With radical honesty, you can conclude the abuse. You can even be polite and say, hey, what's up? And be respectful to them as much as possible without getting stepped on. But that's going to, you're going to have to dial in the skill. Okay, there's this statement, those that can't do, teach, right? So after living with this person for years, after studying spirituality for 25 years, okay, after talking with them, this extremely narcissistic person, about God many times for hours, and then watching them devolve back into this very childish behavior. They barely can talk to me now. They barely can interact with me now. And so I really, really do say prayers that they heal this and every other person that has this problem. But going through that, I think the saying, those that can do teach, is a Luciferic statement. The devil wanted to come up with because, to portray teachers as those that can't do. But the Babylonian school system, the compulsory school system is full of people that don't know how to live, so they just teach the status quo. But for me, having this electronic buffer, having you over there in South Carolina and 5 miles down the road is actually a healthy phase. This YouTube platform, for me, is a healthy buffer, protection for me to learn through teaching how to be a good teacher as a part of my shadow work. Whereas the opposite is very true for those of you who still obey any outside authority. As I said in previous videos, and Ireland Clark's video about this subject really goes into it. A Course in Miracles. I read the whole text, 600 and some odd pages, and it exemplifies how the Dark Ones infiltrated the New Age teachings. After reading this text, that this Jewish woman from New York City with a degree in psychology, which was written by a man, Thetford, who if you look William Thetford up on Wikipedia, which is a completely censored by the Dark Ones page, it says right on Wikipedia he was in MK Ultra, a program about psychology, so he transcribed this book. And it makes me think I almost joined a cult, because mind control cult, because it pertains that it's going to teach you forgiveness and what forgiveness is. And supposedly this lady was channeling Jesus Christ or the Master Yeshua. And they repeat these statements over and over again, that you created everything with your thoughts, which is a half-truth, which is a truth, but it's only a portion of the truth. Other people that broke off or fragmented from the Almighty created it with their thoughts too. So what it teaches you through the course of these pages is that there is no such thing as evil, which is a complete Pollyanna fabrication, MK Ultra cult. Because, well, the proof was that this lady went insane at the end of her life, and it's really sad. And I have several friends here in Santa Cruz and all around the world. I probably have half a dozen friends in this group. And I want to say to all of you, take the truth and what resonates in these teachings that is true and apply that. But the part of it that insulates you from facing the reality of the exterior world, the part of you that makes you terrified of bringing the teachings into the community, of sharing the wisdom, of having the courage to say no to the devil, of having the courage to participate in the social clearing of the fallen consciousness, because you think it's only about you, because you have become solipsistic, and you think that that's conscious. Let go of that. It's a very low level of awareness that this Course in Miracles teaches. So understanding that as a prime example of what, the Bible thumpers had this martyr, terrible martyr image, right? In the New Age, it's evil doesn't exist. Bullshit. Face it within yourself or suffer the consequences. And if I can't practice what I preach about this, I will suffer. I know it. And that's why I'm making this video. Evil exists, but only because we pretend like it's not there. It can proliferate. When we realize that Lucifer and the Illuminati are only a cancer-causing fluorescent light, that the real inner light is the Christos, is the Almighty within, that the Gnosis is the real, the Gnostic Christian is the real teachings of Christ embodied. And I offer this to you. And I offer you the reconciliation of equanimity with the human family and the courage, or an example of the courage it would take to put down this insane narcissistic tendency to think you have to do it all. It all has to come through and from you. And participate in this conversation. Make comments on these videos. Learn to have the courage to speak your own truth in any platform you want. Learn that these manipulative people don't have to have powers over you. You don't have to allow them to. But only if and when you have the courage to reclaim the sovereignty of your personal harmlessness, your personal self-discernment and self-respect that prevents and prevails over you making any deals with abusive tyrants in the future. And that level of awakening is what I wish to bestow to you and all those who are afraid to have this conversation with me in real time, and all of those of you who are too far away. I bless you all, and I say enjoy and respect all beings. Like and subscribe, and bless